The forensic audit into the Old Age Pension Fund has revealed that the Ministry of Social Protection, formerly the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, falls well short of international best practices regarding accountability for the distribution of pension books. That was the conclusion of Auditor Leslie Versamy of Nizam Ali and Company. The audit covered the period January 1, 2015 to May 31, 2015. During the probe, Versamy said it was found that there was no proper accountability for the 50,500 old age pension books printed for 2015. Social Protection Minister Volda Lawrence was approached by Nightly News for a comment on the findings.
We have inherited a very old and paper cumbersome system, and the connectivity between the various outlining regions, the officers having to send these documents down to Georgetown, and in that whole transition there was not strict enough checks and balances to ensure that those documents were documented when they were received and checked.
It was noted that the total amount of eligible pensioners as recorded in the pension database was 45,262 at the beginning of 2015, and there were 2,301 additions and 587 removals by May 2015. Therefore, there was an excess of approximately 3,500 old age pension books for the period in review. The findings led Minister Lawrence to the conclusion that the system should be revamped.
But I did indicate when I first came into office that we are looking to digitalize the system, to remove all the paper system and to ensure that we have a system that is time related. So from the minute a transaction takes place, it is documented and it can be seen within our system, so it can be monitored.
The auditors suggested too that the ministry should issue old age pension books to eligible pensioners in person and not to relatives. Additionally, the auditors said the ministry should carry out a detailed census to determine whether persons living in the hinterland are indeed alive and eligible for pensions. This, Minister Lawrence said, should not only be limited to the hinterland, since similar problems existed elsewhere.
The geography of Guyana is not an easy one, and we have a lot of persons who live cross-border. And many times they just come over when it is time to uplift their pension books or their public assistance or whatever. And so in order for us to have an accurate database, what we need to do is to have a census. And so we're working towards that. We have that as part of the recommendations going forward.
During the 9th Parliament, late Alliance for Change executive member Sheilda Holder had indicated that something was amiss with the soaring number of senior citizens who are receiving old age pensions. She had accused the then People's Progressive Party government of diverting the pension fund toward public spending. The late Mrs. Holder had calculated that there were some 17,640 of what she described as phantom pensioners, and said that the monthly hemorrhage from the old age pension fund was over $116 million or $1.3 billion annually. Then Social Services Minister Priya Manikchand had refuted the claim by Holder, pointing out that there were reasonable causes for the increase in the number of old age pensioners in recent years. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.